Welcome back everyone to Data Science for Everyone. Today we're going to be looking at CustomJS tools with bokeh. So let's get started. So first off, we're going to actually look at creating some selection tools that are going to emit events that can drive very useful callbacks for us. Now what we're going to be doing below is going to be doing selection geometry. So this is also going to be using a box selection tool, so we're going to be able to create a box, but we're not actually going to be using any data at all. We're just going to be dealing with the geometry itself, okay, using the callback data that we're gaining from that. And we're going to just use that just to be able to draw some rectangles. Maybe we'll even draw some squares or triangles or something else as well. So let's go on and get started with that. First off, let's create up a new file, and I'll call this bokeh CustomJS tools.py. So from bokeh.events, we're going to import in here selection geometry. And then we'll do from bokeh.models, we're going to import our column data source as well as our CustomJS. Oh, and we also want in rectangle, triangle, and maybe circle. I'm not sure. We may use this, we may not, I'm not sure. And so let's go on and also use from bokeh.plotting. We want in our standard imports of figure and show. So let's go on and create up our source data here, and this is actually going to be just going to be empty. And so what we want in here is this is for the rectangle, and we'll do in here data is equal to some dictionary of x, y, width, and height. Up, and that needs an equal sign in there. All right, and then let's go on and actually create up our callback in here, and I'm going to put the JS code here so that we can easily create it. And so let's do something like const in here geometry is equal to our callback object here, and we want in the geometry. Geometry. And then we also want in here what do we want? Const data is equal to our source.data. So we actually are going to be grabbing all of these x, y, width, height data. Then let's also go on and do our calculations. So we want the rectangle attributes in here. And let's do const. Oh, the reason I'm using constant here is because I don't want them to be, I'm making them constants, okay? I don't want them to be a variable of any sort. Because again, we are going to be messing with data, okay? Particularly we want some highlighting data or anything like that. We don't want to overwrite any data when we use it. So let's do width in here is our geometry of x1, okay, minus our geometry of x0. And so let's maybe talk a little bit about this, okay, because when we're calculating width and height, okay, we have a rectangle, so we have 4 points, right? X0, x1, y0, y1. Okay, and so then to calculate the width, we need the x1 minus the x0, and then to calculate the height, we want to calculate up then the y1 minus the y0. So in this instance, then we want const height is the geometry of y1 minus the geometry of y0. And then we also want in here to actually create up our x's and y's. So geometry in here of x naught, sorry, width, plus width divided by 2. Then we want const of y in here, again, is the geometry of y naught plus the height divided by 2. And then let's go on and update the data. Okay, so how do we update the data? So we need to use the push function, okay, and we want to push this into our data attributes, okay, here, okay, because that's going to be technically we're updating that source data. So we'll do data x dot push x data y dot push y. And then we need to do the same thing for the width and the height. So data width dot push width, and then again for the height, data dot height dot push height. Then let's go on, and the last but not least, and probably the most important thing that we need to do is source dot change emit. Okay, because if we don't have this line in here, it does not broadcast it back out to Python for us to visualize. Okay, otherwise it's kind of just a covert data source that just stays in memory. We don't actually use it. So let's go on and actually utilize that callback itself. So I'll just call it CB. And this is CustomJS in here. Data, again, is a dictionary of X. Oh, whoops. No, I don't actually need that because we already did the source data up here. I need the callback itself. I don't know why I was thinking about that. All right, so we want the args in here, and this is going to be a dictionary of our source is equal to source. And then we also have our code is equal to JS code. Okay, so then we're actually utilizing all of this JavaScript code and bringing it down here. So now let's actually go on and plot out the data. So let's do something like P is equal to figure plot width is 500, plot height is 500, tools is our is going to be a box select, and then we want in here title is make a selection, or make selection below. And then let's add in X range is 0 to 1, Y range is equal to 0 to 1. And then let's go on and create up our rectangle in here. So rect is equal to X, Y is equal to Y, width is equal to width, height is equal to height, and then let's do fill alpha is 0.4, and then let's pick some fill color is fire brick. And then let's add in our graph. So add glyph in here. Source rectangle, our selection glyph is going to be the rectangle. And then non-selection glyph is going to be a rectangle. Oh, you guys can't see that. So here's, this is not right in here. So glyph. Okay, so it has in here a couple different things. We want the source data. We want our rectangle. Then we want in our selection glyph itself is going to be the rectangle, and our non-selection glyph is going to be the rectangle. Now, what we need to also add into all of this is what happens with our event. Okay, so p.js on event. Okay, before in a lot of other things we've been doing on chain. So if you're clicking a button or something like that, but this is on the event because we actually need to collect a little bit more data. We're going to maybe make a square or make a rectangle of any sort, and it's going to need to grab all of that particular information. Specifically, we're going to have a selection geometry as well as our callback. Okay, not callback, CB is what I called it for callback. And then we should show P. All right, so now we have, that bigger. Now we actually have in here our nice box. So we should be able to create, well, it's working a little bit, but I think it didn't like whenever I put in, I bet my color, it didn't like my color because sometimes it needs an actual, let's give that a try real quick. Let's fix that. Let's give it a color. Hold on real quick. What is the fire brick hex code? Was B22222, I believe. Let's run that again and see if that helps with our coloration. No, it's still not quite what we're wanting, because the whole goal of this is that we should have some coloration being done in here. So we're missing something in the code. So let's, but we don't seem to be having any errors except for here we have a bad column name. And this is again due to misspelling. So we have, let's see, fill color. Let's see, fill color is correct. Let's double check our glyph selection. Let's do selection glyph is a rectangle. Our non-selection glyph is our rectangle. That is correct. Our source is correct. Our height, width, alpha, fill is correct. And again, my guess is you guys probably saw whatever my error was whenever I was typing it out, but I'm going to have to go through and double check. We have our box select, that is correct. Our source data. Our source data is going to be correct. All right, let me double check really quickly and I'll be right back. And as always with like 90% of my mistakes, currently it's about spelling. So it's geometry, not geometry. Okay, so here we make sure and get rid of that in. We save everything, we run everything, and we come back and now we have our nice little boxes that we can draw on. And again, you can use this to do all different types of things. This can be a great selection and highlighting type tool where you can allow people to draw over the top of some other types of area. Maybe you want this to disappear after they hit this refresh or reset or something like that. Maybe we can add in that reset button. Let's actually do that really quickly. So let's go to our tools. Tools, selection box, and reset. So then we can actually go through and put in some boxes. We can reset it. That reset button is not working correctly. But anyways, I'm going to leave this here. If you guys like this, please comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.